The more I learn about life, the more I realize how little I actually know. The world is full of opportunities for growth, learning, and expansion, most of which are going to take us outside of our comfort zones. And when we find ourselves stepping into the unknown, fear is almost always present. But the presence of fear is not an indication that we're doing something wrong. In fact, it's quite the opposite. In this episode, we're going to explore why fear might be a sign that we're on the right path, especially when we're aiming to grow or change in some way. We'll also look at what exactly happens in our bodies and minds when we face our fears and how we can use this knowledge to overcome the struggle and embrace the unknown with more ease. When you think about growth, learning, and expansion in your life, what comes to mind? What areas do you want to expand into? Maybe it's physical, like wanting to get stronger or improve your endurance. Or maybe it's mental and emotional, like increasing your self-confidence or facing a public speaking fear. Whatever it is, whenever we aim to grow, we're essentially taking steps into the unknown, because by definition, growth requires moving beyond what we currently know, what we can currently do, and what we're comfortable with. And so when we step into this unknown territory, it's natural for fear to arise. You see, fear is a survival mechanism. It's there to protect us from harm, danger, and pain. And so when we start doing something new or challenging, our brain and body jump into action trying to convince us that we shouldn't move forward. It might throw in thoughts like, what if you fail? You're not good enough. You're not strong enough, smart enough, pretty enough. Or maybe it will manifest physically as increased heart rate, sweaty palms, shaky voice, butterflies in the stomach. But just because these fear-based reactions arise doesn't mean we should listen to them. In fact, if we pay attention to our fear and anxiety and allow it to dictate our actions, we prevent ourselves from growing and learning and expanding into the things that we want to. So let us look at some ways that you can reframe your relationship with fear and use it as a compass to guide you toward your goals, instead of letting it hold you back. The first thing to understand is that fear itself is not dangerous. It's only our reaction to fear that can be harmful. When we feel fear, we have two options. We can fight or flight, run away from the situation that we fear. This often looks like procrastination, distraction, or avoidance. Or we can face our fear and acknowledge it without judgment. One way to help you make this distinction is to ask yourself, is this fear-based reaction helping me move closer to my goal or further away from it? If it's helping you move closer to your goal, then lean into it and allow yourself to feel it fully. If it's holding you back, then acknowledge the fear and gently remind yourself that it's just fear talking. And here's the truth. All growth and all learning takes place outside of your comfort zone. If you want to grow as a person, as a professional, as a friend, partner, family member, etc., you're going to have to step outside of your comfort zone. Now, don't get me wrong, you don't need to dive into the deep end all at once. Growth comes in small increments over time. So if your goal is to learn to love and accept yourself more, it won't happen by watching videos on self-love. It will happen by putting yourself out there and being seen and showing up, even when you're afraid of being judged or rejected or misunderstood. If your goal is to become a morning person, it won't happen by watching videos on productivity. It will happen by setting an alarm for 15 minutes earlier than usual and then actually getting up. Then after a few days, set the alarm for 15 minutes earlier than that, and slowly but surely, you'll become a morning person. See, when we put ourselves out there and are willing to show up even when we're afraid, even when our amygdala is screaming at us to run away, that's when the magic happens. That's when we expand our comfort zones and grow into new versions of ourselves. So now you're probably thinking, great, I get it. I need to face my fear, but how? Well, here are 3 tips to help you embrace the unknown with more ease. The first is to notice the difference between healthy and unhealthy fear. There is a difference between feeling nervous about public speaking because you've never done it before, and feeling terrified to speak in front of a group of people because you believe you're really not a good enough speaker. One is based on a lack of experience, and the other is based on a belief about yourself. And this belief is just that, a belief. It's not necessarily true. Maybe you haven't been a public speaker for very long, but that doesn't mean you're not good at it. Maybe you just need to give yourself more time to develop your skills. The key here is to identify whether your fear is based on facts or beliefs. And remember, beliefs can always be challenged and changed. Tip no. 2 is to practice self-compassion when facing your fears. Be gentle with yourself. Acknowledge your fear and remind yourself that it's okay to be afraid. It's normal. Most people aren't comfortable with feeling uncomfortable, so it's perfectly fine to feel this way. Just don't let your fear win. Remember, you're not your fear. You're the one in control. And if you can practice self-compassion and be kind to yourself while facing your fear, you'll be able to move through it with more ease. And tip no. 3 is to focus on the process rather than the outcome. When we aim to grow, we usually have a specific outcome in mind, like losing weight, getting a promotion, starting a business, running a marathon, graduating from school, etc. And while having a goal is great, it's important to remember that we can't control the outcome. The only thing we can control is our actions and our effort. So instead of fixating on the outcome, focus on what you can control. Focus on the process. Ask yourself, what can I do today to move myself closer to my goal? Break down your larger goal into smaller, more manageable steps and focus on taking action towards those smaller goals. When you focus on the process, you take the pressure off yourself to succeed right away. You allow yourself the freedom to learn and grow at your own pace, and you shift your mindset from I want to achieve this outcome to I'm committed to taking these actions. And this shift in mindset is powerful because it allows you to stay focused on what you can control instead of worrying about the outcome. Remember, when we choose to embrace the unknown, when we choose to step outside of our comfort zones, that's where we expand. That's where we grow. That's where we learn. So next time you find yourself struggling with fear or anxiety, ask yourself, am I on the right path? Is this fear helping me move closer to my goal or further away from it? If it's helping you move closer to your goal, then lean into the fear and allow yourself to feel it fully. If it's holding you back, then acknowledge the fear and gently remind yourself that it's just fear talking. Here's the truth. The world is full of opportunities for growth, learning, and expansion, and most of them are going to take us outside of our comfort zones. If you want to grow in any area of your life, you're going to have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So I challenge you, embrace the unknown. Step into the fear and watch yourself grow. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment below with your thoughts or questions. I appreciate you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.